All right, Jason, it's July, so what does that mean?
Summer of sand, baby.
Hey everybody, Franz here with Sentinel Emergency Solutions, part of the Rosenbauer Group. With me is my buddy Jason Cerrano from IDEX, the inventor of the SAM system. So we have a 4-part series that we're going to do here with Jason. It's all about SAM, it's all about IDEX. Yes, we as Sentinel are Rosenbauer guys, but this is focused on SAM systems, SAM Boost, the new product that we just came out with. All those pieces. So even if you're buying other people's fire trucks, no big deal, watch this video. It's going to be educational on SAM and some of those kind of things. So we're going to talk about the most controversial thing in the fire service right now, right, Jace?
Yeah, thank you.
You have created, that's right. You have created some uproar with the SAM system and everything else. So we did a video 5 years ago, I guess, at FDIC,
Yep.
right? When we were just kind of getting things going. We only had 2 SAM systems in. How many are out in the industry right now?
I think we're getting close to 100.
Close to 100 already. So just like that, it's starting to pick up. So what's the feed? What are people thinking?
I think the most interesting bit of information about that is up until this point, every SAM user has ordered another SAM.
Okay.
So, there's not a lot.
So it's not a one and done.
Yeah, not yet. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's eventually going to happen. The world's not perfect, but
that's right.
It's hard to argue when people have it and then rebuy it.
Right.
So that's been the big thing. And I think inside the firehouse is kind of interesting because I just did a podcast with some friends and they really talked about it's the conversation that everybody's having.
Sure.
Right? Like what's more important, all the strategic benefits or do we trust technology? And that's why it's so controversial. That's really polarizing.
Yeah, and you're spot on. Everybody's talking about this. Mm-hmm. I mean, it amazes me whenever we go out just to talk fire trucks in general. Mm-hmm. And the people who I bring up, hey, have you thought about a SAM system, right? And everybody goes, oh my God, it's amazing, we want it. Or people go, we hate it, we'll never buy anything like that because it's technology.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I said it's controversial because it's a conversation all the time, it seems like, which is really neat.
Yeah.
Really neat. So are you seeing more paid departments, volunteer? Like what's the mixture? If somebody's going to buy a SAM system, what is it? Is it a truck company with 4 people on it that absolutely want it, or the volunteers? I'm kind of seeing both.
Yeah, so it's weird. So the reason that happens changes across the spectrum, right? So at a larger, more well-funded department with a lot of people, they have more people. So they're experiencing more of the change in the firefighters that are coming in, right? And it's not a negative thing. Like my kid doesn't mow the lawn anymore. He doesn't need to, but he's not getting mechanical exposure. He doesn't problem solve mechanical systems. Like every industry everywhere is moving away from that. Actually, they're not even moving away. It doesn't really exist anymore.
Right.
And there's a reason for that, you
right.
know? So there's that side of it. So when you have your better funded, more staffed departments, they have to deal with more people. More people are starting to struggle with not technology, so it works for them. And then as you move down, then you have like the mid-sized departments, you have paid departments. They may only have 3 people on a truck, and with the full SAM system, it does not eliminate the pump operator, but boy, does it free up a lot of time. So we're starting to do time studies. Like we're learning, this is really interesting stuff, even if you're not pumping with SAM. Like pump operators, just to do basic tasks in the first 5 minutes of the fire ground, they have about they have about a minute and a half they have to spend at the pump panel.
Sure.
And those are the best, most efficient ones.
Right.
And then people that are less practiced are spending 2 minutes or more at the panel, and SAM brings it down to like 15 seconds. And so now that people are starting to learn this, like I said, it's a tactical thing, right? Do you want to stick a person at the truck doing person things, and they introduce errors.
Right.
Too.
Right.
It's a lot to talk about there. And then the flip side of that is once people learn that, it changes the conversation. Versus, I don't want electronics, but wait, I just learned I get extra work done on the fire ground. And then you go down to the smaller departments with nobody, you're showing up with 1 or 2 people.
Right.
Life-saving technology right there. Like this changes the game for those people.
I think it's amazing, and let's hit on this one more time because we go out to paid fire departments and somebody who's been an engineer for 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. And the first thing they say is, I don't want it because it's electronics. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the trucks that we've sold to have engineers or drivers who have been out there for a long time, who once they get it, then they just eat it up. Like, do you see that perception change drastically once that physically gets in their hands?
They have to use it, yeah. So it's really cool actually. Like this is, like I get to do demos all the time and people are always resistant. So I'm always showing up to a very resistant crowd. Right. And then we get to use it and the curiosity starts and people start to like, wait, it does what? Wait, it does what? And so what happens is the firefighters start to create their own conclusions in the fact that if you're a good pump operator or a good firefighter, you understand simpler is better. And so they see this, and to them it's a more complicated truck, right?
Right.
And in some ways it is, but we're not having problems with it. So what happens is they start to use it, and then they get away from, hey, the truck might be more complicated, and they start to understand, wow, the fireground just got way simpler.
And it helps me.
Yeah, it helps me. And
Right.
so the firefighter brain starts to argue with itself and say, that's way tougher, that takes more time, that can have problems with people and all these other things. And they start to see SAM and they're like, it's just turn it on.
That's right.
Give it to a child, turn it on. Like, that's better for the fireground overall.
So, and those are people who have been operating trucks for a long time, right?
And the older guys see that quickly, right?
Yeah,
They're the
right.
experienced fireground people. So when they see a solution, they're like, their brain starts to argue. It's funny, you can see that, you can see
it
going at each with themselves, and they're just like, wow.
Because they're going, I don't want it,
Yeah.
but then I gotta have it,
They've
right?
been on too many fires. They understand simpler's better.
So then let's take it one step further. We were in southern Missouri visiting a department one night, and we took a SAM truck down there, and there was a firefighter there. He was probably 20 years old, and his girlfriend was there. I don't know, she's 19, 20 years old. She's not even on the fire department, and they wanted to pump the truck. So I got his girlfriend. I said, you come over here and get water out of this pre-connect. And we had somebody who had no idea what the fire truck is, pumping water. It was that simple. Mm-hmm. So from a younger generation's perspective, that piece is huge as well, right? Because the younger generation thinks differently. So whether you've been doing this for 30 years, you've been doing it for 6 months, theoretically, we can get somebody who's pretty green pumping a fire truck, right?
Yeah, it's a skills equalizer. So, and when we all deal with that, like who shows up at this fire and pumps one day versus the person who's only pumped one fire shows up that day and they have to pump the truck. So what it does is it makes the two ends of the spectrum pretty much equal.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty neat. So on that, we were just talking about paid, volunteer, all those pieces. So part of the 4-part series, the next step that you're gonna see is SAM hydrant ops. These are operational. So we're gonna have a truck, we're gonna be flowing some hand lines, we have a pump operator, all those pieces. We're trying to make this as generic, as general, as simple as could be. We're not trying to market the video up or anything like that. We're trying to give you all the opportunity to see hands-on exactly how these things work. So next one, sorry I got off topic there, but next one is hydrant ops, and then after that we're gonna do SAM drafting ops. And then the last part of this 4-part series is SAM Boost, which is new that we're talking about. Boost, you want to give them a little teaser on what Boost is?
Yeah, so Boost is, you talk about SAM and it's only on new trucks right now because it'd be cost prohibitive to go backwards and retrofit. SAM Boost allows departments to get the nozzles today. So
with some automation.
With some automation.
Right.
So some pressure control and hand lines, but the big thing is it's way less expensive and you can retrofit it in just a couple days.
And we got a truck out there with Boost on it, which is going to be really neat to see. And what we're seeing with Boost is people who have a SAM system or have a SAM system on order, and maybe their truck, it's not 20 years old, right? But maybe they got a truck that's 7 to 10 years old.
Yep.
That's their reserve, that they want to add some kind of technology to it. And then Boost comes into place. We'll give you a hands-on with that as well. So stay tuned with us. We're really excited to do this. 4 parts. They're going to be different series that are going to come out, probably 1 a week, 2 a week maybe. But stay with us, learn more about IDEX, learn more about the SAM system here at Sentinel.